Hello, travelers, and Happy New Year to you. I'm coming to you today with a open reading of the Nostradamus Lost Tarot. Now, those of you who've been with me a while know that when I do these readings, I tend to write out whatever I get. And so my question, which I started asking back near the end of December, was I was trying to see if Nostradamus would impart any type of inkling into the trajectory of the pandemic. And so I placed it, to 2022 or 2023. And mostly all the cards that I pulled were just kind of gobbledygook. That was not, that didn't quite make any sense. And so what I figured after about 5 or 6 times of trying to do this over length of a week, right, is that that's not what he's wanting to talk about. And so finally, I just took the deck and I said, okay, then what do you want to talk about? All right? What message would you like to bring forth at this moment? And so on January 1st, January 2nd at 8:47 p.m., and you can see, I still ask, what is the trajectory of the pandemic into 2023? And I'm like, well, if you don't want to talk to me about the pandemic, what do you want to talk about? Well, the last card set that I pulled on the pandemic was the 9 of Stars, the 5 of Stars, and the 6 of Moons. Gobbledygook. So finally I said, well, what do you want to talk about? What is it that you would, I just said that. What would you like to talk about? And I had 3 cards come out. And I was kind of stricken with them. Let me turn the camera around. I'm going to be writing an article on this, so by the time that this posts today, I should be done with the article so that I can show you some other stuff. Now, don't remember when it was, because I've been doing these somewhat called election readings since October of last year, or October of 2019, I believe it was. It was before the 2020 election. And posting those, so you can go back and search the election readings and read those. And apparently I had predicted the January 6th insurrection. Well, I knew that this was coming up, and I knew that it was going to be all over the news, and that's all people were going to be talking about. So I purposefully have not watched any news or news programs or read anything, because when these cards came out, it kind of told a story that the January 6th from last year is a continuing thing, okay? And the reason I know that is this card came out during one of the, as a matter of fact, this is the one, I think the card that came out when I said, there's going to be people in the street. He's going to be, there's going to be blood in the street. He's going to call people out. This is the card that showed up. So you also know, those of you who've been with me a while, know that I've been complaining that the book that goes with this deck leaves a lot to be desired. And there was one card, I think they kept mentioning Quatrain 12. And I was like, I don't know, I can't find Quatrain 12. I don't know what they're talking about. So I couldn't figure out where they got their information from. So I contacted Jessica Adams and I said, look, I'm looking for a book that has Quatrain 12 in it for Nostradamus. And she had mentioned to me some time ago that she had some really good books on Nostradamus. And I said, do you know of any books? So she sent me a link to a particular book. All right. And I was able to locate Quatrain 12. But the cards that came up were interesting to me. I have the Hierophant. I have the 8 of Stars. And I have the Ace of Spheres, which is like the Ace of Coins. Okay. And using the book, looking at the book that Jessica sent the link to, I was able to kind of decipher this. Now, I did a confirmation on if this was really a true message using a different deck. And in fact, I used the Radiant White deck. And the card that came up was the Hierophant. Okay. So I did a confirmation. Now, here's what the cards say. The quatrain for the Hierophant. Eyes shut shall be opened by an antique fancy. The cloths of the alone shall be brought to nothing. The great monarch shall punish their frenzy for having ravished the treasures of the temple before. I think this refers to those guys in Congress who helped number 45 to pull this off. This whole thing about January 6th. It says the cloths of the alone. The cloths can be referring to, and what the book says, it's a reference to like the monks, right? These guys were really on a mission to get their message out there about the election being stolen, or the election being fake or fraudulent, or whatever the case may be. It says that they shall be brought to nothing. So we see now that many of them are being exposed. Their text messages are out. Now we know what they were saying, what they were doing, where they were, yada, yada, yada. I also found this in the actual images of the book. And it has a confirmation, that that was correct. Let me see if I can find the photo right quick. Hold on, let me hold it up. I don't know if you remember that card that kept coming about, and this card said news about a faked election will run throughout the city. Remember, it was that image. There's the confirmations. It's the same card. They've just broken this image up into several too. Okay? Even the fact that the lions are missing and he's barefoot. They've broken it up and they've removed the sun here. But there's the confirmation about the fake news running across the city. It's the same image. All right? The Eight of Stars says, the prisoner escaped through great danger. A little while after shall become great, his fortune being changed. In the palace, the people shall be caught, and by a good sign, the city shall be besieged. To me, this referenced both January 6th of last year and the idea that this is not over. Okay? It is not over. This whole prisoner shall escape. The prisoner escaped through great danger. I don't know who the prisoner refers to. It could literally be someone who may be doing time right now, but who may be getting out later. And it says a little while after the great danger, he shall become great, his fortune being changed. Now, I said to you guys some time ago that my guides have been saying to me since the election of Joe Biden that he would not make it through his first term. And this last card, there is no image for this last card, okay, in the actual images drawn up by Nostradamus. There is only one thing that stands out to me about this card. Let me let you look at it. It is the sun. We have a book with nothing written on it. That's open, blank pages. We have the two cross keys. And then we have what is known as the cruet. And I was able to find one image of the cruet. It's a separate image. It has nothing. It says nothing. But I also looked up a quatrain that somebody else says this cruet references. But the quatrain that goes with this card, the Ace of Spheres, says, under the oak, Guyan, stricken from heaven, not far from it is the treasure hidden, which has been many ages a gathering. Being found, he shall die, the eye put out by a spring. Now, let me go back and grab this page. I think this is the page. It is. And this is taken from a page. This book was written in 1658. And the person who translated it, under the oak, Guyan. It says, "Strucken from heaven, not far from it is the treasure hidden, which hath been many ages a gathering. Being found, he shall die, the eye put out by a spring." The annotation is, the sense of it is that somebody whose name here, Guyan, being under an oak tree that has been struck with lightning, and that near that place there is a great treasure that has been many years a gathering, and that he who shall find it shall die, being shot in the eye with the firelock. In other words, a gun. Now, what I find interesting is the word Guyan. It's spelled G-U-Y-E-N. If this guy's looking across space and time, he may have gotten the name incorrect. Okay? Incorrect. Just like he correctly called Hitler's name, only he spelled it as Hister, H-I-S-T-E-R. So this Guyan could really be the word Biden. Okay? I was looking at it like the French name Guion, because that's the way it would be pronounced. And then I was driving along the other day and I said, you know what? That could even be the word Guyan, right? Which would be, in a sense, kind of close to Biden. So I feel who is named here, being under an oak, shall be stricken with the lightning, and that near that place there is a great treasure that hath been many years a gathering, and that he who shall find it shall die, being shot in the eye with the firelock. The sense of it is that somebody being under an oak, which has been struck by lightning, and near that place there's a great treasure. And I've been going over that and going over that. So it's kind of giving us a sense that something dramatic will happen. I don't know if this is a reference to a possible assassination attempt on Joe Biden, and that whomever tries to do that will be killed, or if it is saying that this person, Guyan, might be killed. It's a bit rather confusing, and I'm reading Old English and I'm reading someone else's what their interpretation is. But it's quite clear here that there is gunfire and gunplay being involved. Under the oak, stricken from heaven, to me says that this person, Guyan, is going to be standing someplace outside, maybe in a grove of trees or underneath a grove of trees, and this tree will have been struck by lightning. But that not far from it, so does this mean that there is maybe someone plants a gun there, right? They get out there before the security gets there. They plant something there, which hath been many ages a gathering. Well, you know, ages can really be anything, so to speak. It implies the sense that there's some time there. And I think what this is referring to in time, in terms of a timing, is now. Because at first I thought this was a heraldic confirmation, but yet I can find no herald or crest that looks like this with a book and two keys, or a book and a cruet. And so I looked up the quatrain that goes with this cruet, the only image I could find. And it says, "Wine shall be spilt from the table, by reason that a third man shall not have her whom he intended. Twice the black one, defended from Parma, shall do to, I think that's Perusa and Pisa, what he intended." And then the annotation is that these are, Pisa and Parma are 3 cities in Italy. What this speaks about is the time when the first that the Pope, let me go back. I marked it here. When the rights of the church will be changed. And it says that although the Third Reich will be defeated, a new strongman will rise up in Italy. We know that that was Mussolini. Okay, so this is what that refers to at that time. But basically what he's talking about is the significance of the Holy Communion being lost. And it says that the church will withdraw its support from a strong-armed government. And discord erupts among them when the Pope, who uses an airplane, can no longer travel due to contrary winds. Demagogic oratory takes over television. Mankind will free itself from religion, but not from political fanaticism. Faith will offer the cures and evil will be forgiven. But even if we are liberated from fatal heresies, they weave black sacks for you. So I think that what this card is talking about is a time when someone will make a play to seize power. And once that is done, we're going to be in real trouble. And so for me, this is a confirmation that they are not done yet. There's definitely still some violence here. I do feel that there is still another plot being hatched up. It won't be all willy-nilly like it was last year. This is going to be something that's planned quite well. Perhaps this is why there are no words written on the pages, because it is something maybe that it is something that hasn't been formulated yet, which was the same thing I said about that little angel in that card, that the story hasn't been written yet. But this is, I thought this was something that I should bring forward to you, because he really is kind of letting us know that something else is afoot. This last interpretation here is in a way alarming, but also very enigmatic, because somebody is going to die, is what it says, and they're going to be shot through the eye. He shall die, the eye put out by a spring, being found. Now, I don't know if he's saying that whatever this treasure is that's been hidden, the person who finds it will die, or that this Guyan, and it's spelled G-U-Y-E-N, Guyan, he could very well be off a few letters. It would be perhaps close enough in sounding to be interpreted that way. It happened with the Hitler Hister thing. So we shall see. I'm going to write this up and add the extra images in, and so you can get a look on it yourself. I just do honestly feel that this is not over, and that all of the investigations and all of the, I don't know, arrest and all of the information that's coming out, while we are in a sense maybe being distracted by that, there's somebody else out there plotting something. I don't know if this is a lone wolf kind of person. I don't think it will be. I think the person is going to have help. We shall see. And so I have to be careful about what I say and the way I say it. But this definitely looks like either an assassination attempt, or, right, an assassination attempt and that person who tries to do it gets killed, or that the person is successful in their assassination attempt. And I think the idea that the Pope not being able to fly on a plane due to contrary winds, and the contrary winds could be simply not only the idea of the pandemic, right, not traveling, I think that kind of gives us a timeline here. And I think that's what that little cruet there at the bottom was trying to tell me. And so that's what I have for you. I hope you found that interesting. As I said, I'm going to write it all up and put in the extra images. It'll be available on the website sometime later today. So just make sure that you check that. And so until then, until next time, be well and namaste. I'll see you guys in a few days with an Ask the Cards. Okay, bye.